everybody. Just recently, I went to see, along with the rest of America, the Barbie movie. I do not, however, want to talk about Barbie. Everybody's talking about her. Everything's pink. I want to talk about Ken. He was introduced in 1961, 2 years after Barbie was introduced, and he is dubbed as her boyfriend. And he changes stylistically over the decades, but probably the most eventful thing that happened to him is that in 2004, he and Barbie broke up, and she did the breaking up. In reaction to this, Ken travels across Europe and through the Middle East and studies Buddhism and Catholicism. Now, I'm trying to say this with a straight face. I am not making this up. This is actually true, the backstory of what happened to Ken after they broke up. So he gets spiritual and such. Then he comes back about a year, maybe like 2005 or 6, I'm not sure which. Then we've got Makeover Ken. This is my name for him. They actually hired a stylist to make Ken more stylish. The original Ken is not that attractive. He's scrawny, he looks anemic, he has no muscles, he looks bad in the bathing suit. The Makeover Ken, with the help of a stylist, is cool looking. Much more attractive, more muscular, more sporty, more hip, cool clothes, not a scrawny bathing suit. So he's much more hip. This then brings us to Ryan Gosling's Ken, who is very blonde, very attractive, very, very buff, friendly, but maybe not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay? But he's got, and he likes hanging out at the beach. What I like about this movie is it allows you to experience it on a number of different levels. First, it's funny. Second, nostalgia. Any little girl who has played with a Barbie or a brother that's watched or played with his sister will see something in this movie that reminds them of their childhood. My stepdaughter loved the scene with the Barbie camper because she and her sister had a Barbie camper and they used to play with it probably behind this wall right here. And the third thing is social commentary. There is, and it is not subtle, you don't have to pay attention to it. If you're a kid, you won't notice it. But essentially, from my perspective, it talks about gender politics and male psychology. So what I want to do is go through the movie and I'm going to comment on the things in that category that I noticed. Just be forewarned, spoiler alert, I'm going to go through the whole movie. So if you don't want to have it spoiled, then don't watch this. Okay, so the first thing is that when Ken is rejected by Barbie and gets depressed, he gets mad. Barbie, on the other hand, when she gets dejected and depressed, sobs and falls apart. She actually falls to the ground. And why that's interesting is that in real humans, this gender difference in depression exists as well. Men tend to strike out, women tend to strike in. The second thing is that Ken goes to the real world, goes to a library, and he gets a book on patriarchy. He thinks that is the coolest thing since sliced bread. He learns about this kind of governance where men are in control and women are at the periphery or below. And he thinks this is the answer to all his questions. And he decides to go back to Barbie Land with what he's found. Somewhere along the line, he finds himself a patriarchy costume. He wears sunglasses. He's bare-chested in the front. He has a leather fringe vest on, covered by a mink coat. He's got a chunky necklace. He carries a book about horses because that's manly. And he even has a fanny pack that says Ken in a Metallica font. And he has underwear that instead of saying Calvin Klein, said Ken. So he is ready to duke it out when he gets back there. It is patriarchy outfit. When he goes back and he's with other Kens, they take over. The Barbie land is not as pretty after he takes over. He moves into Barbie's house. Barbie land has a female president. He ousts her and puts in a guy. Supreme Court is all women. He's about to dismantle that. And he rewrites the Barbie Constitution. So basically, he is trying to strike out at Barbie and pretty much bring down her world. And he replaces it with something that he calls Kendom instead. Okay, and he's doing this all while looking cute with the mink coat on as well. Okay. What this reminds me of is something called male fragility. And it is not a mental illness, nor is it something that all men experience. But some men have a rather fragile sense of their masculinity. So when they feel challenged, like they lose a job to a woman, or walk down the street through a bunch of outwardly gay men, when their sense of masculinity is threatened some way, it's fragile and they lash out. And that's, according to me, what Ken was doing. Now, I might hear you saying, Lynn, I'm sorry, but this is a little bit too intellectual. It's just the Barbie movie. Male fragility, I am not kidding you. You go to the end of the movie, you look up the lyrics for I'm Just Ken, the hit song, and in it is something like, will I always be in this blonde fragility? So, the director knows about it as well. At the end, he sort of has an identity crisis. And all the trappings of patriarchy don't really seem to be working for him. And he sort of loses the fire. So, but in the song, he's bemoaning that he's second fiddle. So, in any other world, I would be a 10, but I'm just Ken. I see love, she sees me as a friend, I'm just Ken. He bemoans this, and he's also, I forgot to tell you, this is his song, but there's a dance going on as well, okay? In the dance, there's like 100 Kens. They're wearing all black. They do masculine movements while they're dancing. The color black is the first color we've seen all movie that wasn't denim or pink. And so all the Kens are agreeing with him and stuff like that. By the end of the song, he sort of has a change of heart. And he says, I am Ken. And the other Ken's like, yeah, so am I. And he basically gets to the point where I'm Ken, I'm enough. And the song ends. But the whole scene, if you ask me, Ryan Gosling steals this movie. The song and dance routine is like something you would see on old 40s movies. At the end, I think Barbie and Ken are both happy. I know this is fiction, but they're both happy. They're both self-actualized, but they do not stay together. She goes one place, she goes to the real world, and he stays in Barbie land, and that's the end of the movie. So thanks for listening. If it's raining right now, it'll probably be on my tape. If it's a rainy Sunday, go see the Barbie movie and enjoy it on whatever level you want. Thanks for watching. This is episode 4 of Everyday Psychology 2.0.